No, we're not going down there. YouTube wouldn't be happy. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now the last chat video which we did, is Thailand still affordable, was very popular, even though we only actually got to talk about 3 subjects, which is where to live, transport and food. Now what we're going to do today is continue with the main topic, but I want to show you all this jumbo jet food market while we talk, because it's really good and really good prices. So we'll have a look round here and we'll continue the whole chat for about 20 minutes or something like that. Okay, and you'll learn what's happening right now. So last time we didn't talk about the elephant in the room, the cost of company. Now there are 2 ways of looking at this cost, either as a short-term tourist here for a few weeks only, or as an expat living long-term or permanently. Now we'll start with the tourist costs. Now these have gone up since pre-pandemic by between 50 and 70%, I would say, depending on where we're talking about. In Walking Street, most beers, for example, in dancing bars are about 160 baht, which is $5. And bar fines have gone up by about 50% to around 1,500 baht, or $44. But in some of the more popular dancing bars can be as much as 2,000 baht, or $60, which is a lot, and that's only the bar fine. Now on top of that, some of the more popular bars are insisting that you buy 5 lady drinks for that particular individual at about 200 baht, or $6 each, or 220 in some cases, or $6.50, before they allow that person to be bar fined. The reason for this is because a large proportion of the dancers are subcontracted from agencies who charge the bars between 1,000 and 1,200 baht, which is $30 or $35 per day for the dancer. So the bar fine only pays for the agency fee, plus maybe 300 baht or $9. I mean, this is not enough for the bar to lose the profit on all the drinks which that dancer would sell in an evening. So they insist on a minimum of 5 drinks before the dancer can be bar fined. Now this high cost is predominantly caused by the agencies monopolizing the supply of staff to the dancing bar business. And the prices are not as high in bars which employ their own staff directly, but the quality is generally not as high in these types of bars, as they pay less, and the higher quality staff know this and go to the higher wages, for the higher wages in the bigger bars through an agency. So you can blame it all on the existence of agencies if you want. Another reason why bar fines are high is that the bars want the staff to stay in the bar. They don't want them going out, because they want them to sell drinks, not be bar fined, because it's so profitable. Now I remember talking to a friend who used to work, actually manage a dancing bar, and I asked him what was the actual cost to the bar of a lady drink, and he said they're just a splash of the cheapest Sangsom Thai spirit, filled with ice and topped with Coke or soda. The cost to the bar of a lady drink is about 10 baht. That's 30 cents or 25 pence. But they charge 200 baht, or $6 or £4.70. So the profit is about 190 baht. Minus of course the commission for that the girl gets, so maybe about 140 baht. Now many of the better dancers regularly make an average of over 15 drinks a night. if you take the profit on each of the drinks, say 140 baht times 15 for 15 drinks, is 2,100 baht, which is about $62. That's the profit for the girl. But the bar fine is 1,500, usually. Can be more sometimes. So the bar's losing profit on every bar fine, unless the dancer has 6 drinks first, which makes up the difference, or helps to make up the difference. At least half of the dancing bar staff no longer have any desire, or in fact any need, to be bar fined or to bar fine anymore, because they're making plenty of money without doing that. For example, let's take an average high quality dancer. She makes a base salary of say 1,200 baht per day and can work 3 shifts, 10-day shifts if she wants to, or for the month. Okay, so that is 36,000 baht, which she must sell a minimum of 5 drinks to avoid a wage cut. Now this is not a problem for any looker, you know, in one of these bars. I mean, the average drink sales are 15, 16 or so. So she gets paid between say 50 or sometimes even as high as 80 baht. Of those drinks, 10 of the drinks would be eligible for commission, so that would be around about sort of 700 baht for the day in drinks commission. Times 30 is 21,000 baht. Now in these higher quality go-go's with the better looking dancers, they'll get tipped regularly, and the tips are not less than 100 baht normally. They can easily make 500 baht tips per day, every day. So that's 500 times 30 is 15,000. So let's add that up. That's 36,000 baht plus 21,000 baht plus 15,000 baht. That's 72,000 baht, which in US dollars is 2,100, tax-free, without doing a single bar fine. Now compare that to the average Thai wage of 12,000 baht a month, or 350 US. Now obviously these earnings only apply to a small bubble of the dancing bar girls, not to the normal beer bars or gents clubs. So at least half of the staff in the dancing bars no longer bar fine at all. They just don't need the extra money, unless the extra money is substantial. Enter the 3,000 baht ST fee and the 5,000 baht LT fee. It has to be substantial, or they're not interested anymore. That's in this bubble we're talking about of the dancing bars. Now everything we talked about only applies to that bubble, and also a few premium beer bars like in the Soibakar area. Now these sort of places you want to stay away from. You'll be taken advantage of if you go there. Now then, let's just go on to normal beer bars, shall we? Things are more back to normal, more back to pre-pandemic days, nearly, or prices. Now a small beer in most of these beer bars is between 60 and 80 baht, which is $1.70 to $2.30. So that it's more or less back to their prices. However, the 300 baht bar fine, or $9, no longer exists anywhere that I could find. They're all 400 baht or 500 baht, which is $12 or $15 now in most of the beer bars. Going on to ST prices, like pre-pandemic in most normal beer bars, you were looking at 1,000 to 1,200 baht. That's $30 to $35. Now the lowest price is $1,500, $44. And that's only if you haggle them down from the 2,000 they probably asked, which is $60. That you've got to do that now. Okay, so most things like hotels, food, clothes, are back to the pre-pandemic prices, more or less, with one major exception: company. Now we've covered the dancing bars and we've covered the beer bars, so the next venue to cover is the gents clubs. Now we're talking about proper gents clubs, the traditional ones with reasonable prices, not some of these new overpriced ones. In a traditional gents club, a normal beer now is about 95 baht, that's $2.80. So it's priced halfway between a beer bar and a dancing bar. And the lady drinks are 150 baht or $4.40, which is the same as every other beer bar. So not over the top. Most gents clubs have guest rooms at 400 baht or $12, and ST is the same as most beer bars. So gents clubs still offer very good value for money, as do the bars on the 6. In my opinion, these two places offer the very best value in Pattaya. Now, just going on to freelancing phone apps briefly, once again they will try it on with the 2000 baht and more, but you have to haggle to get it down to 1500. But the days of 1000 baht are pretty much over, unless you're not too fussy. There is, however, some light at the end of this tunnel for you guys, because I've lived here for 12 years and I have many friends who work in all types of bars, and they're all telling me the same thing, that there's a serious shortage of customers, and it's looking like 2023 will be a record low in the number of low season tourists, bearing in mind that right now the 3 countries with the most arrivals, which is about 60% of all the tourists coming to Thailand at the moment, are Russia, China and India. Now most of these tourists don't go to bars of any kind, so they're not going to benefit the bar system. Yeah. In fact, some of the bars, many of the staff, some of them are lookers as well, are not currently able to meet their drinks quota, simply because there's not enough customers. If this continues, then the staff will become open to haggling for ST and LT prices. Now, this is not so much the case in the bubble of the dancing bars, mostly on Walking Street, who've targeted Korean and Japanese customers who are only a 5-hour flight away, and they can come for a long weekend or just a week and do all regularly, and they have a lot of cash with them, so it's not affecting those particular dancing bars as much as it is everywhere else. I think they're still doing okay. By the way, let me just interrupt for a second. I've just uploaded a particularly good uncut raw soy 6 video on Patreon. You should have a look. By the way, look to the top right of the video. You see that Club K? That's a newly built Korean club, and it's full of Korean guys, youngish Korean guys, and lots of Thai girls. Just like basically Insomnia, but for Koreans. I mentioned that earlier in another video. You see what this guy's selling here? I just had a quick word with him.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. It's okay.
Smoke
You have prices? Tao right.
start from 200 per gram
200.
to 7 per gram.
Okay. Thank you.
I do edible.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you live here full time, you may not be so interested in what we've been discussing before. You may want to have one full-time girlfriend. Many expats do that with varying degrees of success. So let me tell you 2 little short stories now. I know an American guy who had a regular girlfriend for 2 years, and she worked every day as a stylist in a hairdresser's. All was very good, until one day the owner of the hairdresser told the girl that she was putting the shop up for sale and she'd probably lose her job, and she was retiring. When the girl told her American boyfriend, he asked how much does she want for the shop, and she told him straight away, and he said, okay, we'll go tomorrow and speak to the owner and I'll buy it for you, so then you'll be your own boss. Now 5 years later they're still together, and he has not had to give her any money at all since the day he bought the shop for her, except for birthday presents and special occasions and something normal like that, you know. But regular wages, he doesn't give anything. He doesn't need to. The girl has made a success of the shop, and she pays all her own bills and buys all her own clothes and her own food in the day. When she works 6 days, so the 7th day they have together. And he just pays for the condo where they live together. Total win-win. Can happen. Can happen. Let me tell you another little story about an expat from New Zealand. Now, he lived in a rented house outside of Pattaya, and he met a Thai lady on a dating app, and they started seeing each other. She would come around to his house on a motorbike and stay regularly, and she never asked for money each time because she was a good girl. But she would ask for help occasionally paying her rent, as she had a low wage, or help with her family, which sometimes was quite substantial. She said she worked in a very posh Hyso massage shop where they did real Watpo massage, top of the range stuff, and she would work 6 days a week. The guy was a naive newbie, let's get that straight first, okay? Well, one day the guy was outside his house brushing the path when his neighbour from across the road came over for a chat. And the neighbour mentioned that the other day he saw the guy's regular girlfriend going into the massage shop where she worked. Oh yes, said the guy. I've never been inside. She said she was shy to take me in. She didn't want the people to get jealous that she had a full-time boyfriend. But it looks very impressive and posh from the outside. The neighbour looked at him and said, mate, it's a soapy. This is Darland. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it informative about the current prices and the way things are looking like they may be going. And don't forget, please, to comment, make lots of comments, and subscribe and share and ring the bell, and please have a look at Patreon, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot guys.